Hello and welcome. Special treat for everyone on that email subscription list and everyone subscribed to YouTube or anyone that just clicks and watches this video after we record it. But two videos, two coaches calls in 1 month. It's quite the accomplishment. I'm very proud of us. Once again, I'm Dr. Dave Osborn, joined by Team Ops coaches Jeff Harwell and Monica Cahalan. This is our post Powerlifting United Nationals Recap, where we digest, download, and discuss the 3Ds that I just came up with just now. Our Nationals performances. That's pretty good, huh?
That was really good.
Really inspired. Good. Um, You know what? I'm going to kick it off and then I'll pass it off kind of from there. So this was our first nationals um, as a team with Monica and Jeff having their own athletes to coach and not just me coaching. So already snaps for us because that's a huge achievement. And I'm very proud of the product we presented at nationals, where our team did fantastic and really traveled well and executed well on the day. Um, I have to say, having been to quite a few nationals, this was my favorite one.
100%.
The
100%.
the production value and quality from PLU, the judging consistency and standard upheld throughout the day, what was provided for warm-up room and weigh-ins, and just the venue itself, all of it very, very conducive to a great performance for lifters and a nationals that felt like it was for the lifters and not for the Fed itself.
Hmm.
Um,
It
and
definitely felt that way.
I just felt like it was a great product, and if you're trying to, the hard part about nationals, right? Like, especially if you've been coaching for a minute, is, nationals isn't quite a pro meet, other hand, isn't quite a pro meet, right? But it's still way bigger than a local or regional meet, and it's very difficult um, to have your best day at nationals. It's very difficult to have, excuse me, across the board PRs. And so for me, how I always view nationals is the highest my athlete can place within their class is how I dictate success, right? And if we roll into nationals and based on who they're paired up against, if we go in and we make all our attempts and we edge people out with smart attempt selection and executing of lifts, not getting dumb red lights on rookie things, right? Like, that's the goal of the day. The goal of the day for me when I take a team to nationals is I want to win as many weight classes as possible. I want to set as many records as possible, right? And I want, each lifter to have as many attempts made as possible because you can win nationals going 4 for 9,
I've done it.
but hot
It's
damn,
it's my worst meet ever though. I hate it. I
yeah.
hate thinking about it. It was my worst thought process,
And
execution, all of it.
that's not what you want for
Yeah.
nationals as a coach. You want that lifter, like, this is a national event. You really want them to come away with feeling like the trip was worth it. And I feel like that's something everyone on the team got to experience. And Monica will get into it a little bit too, but like, what I really find value in our ability to do this as a team is it makes these kinds of travel competitions possible for people that it wouldn't be possible for otherwise. And it's giving a hand up to others. It's making things not cost prohibited in a hobby sport for a lot of people that, like, it can already be expensive enough, and being able to coordinate travel, flights, housing, all these kinds of things really makes it a much more doable thing than one person doing it on their own. And that makes performance go up on the day. And so I was really proud, just continuously and grateful throughout the whole weekend, that this is something we've done to such a high level, and coordinated and done all the logistical work for to make it successful and be able to bring that success to others. So that's kind of, my intro for thoughts on nationals and just how proud I am of team ops in general, for all their performances. And we can get into lifter stuff or whatever you guys, really want to comment on. But that's kind of what I just wanted to get out of the way first, was so immensely grateful for everyone that went, lifted their hearts out, right, put it all on the platform, and we're really rewarded, um, with being able to have a good game plan, execute at that high level, and walk away with big wins and podium placings and national championships.
And feeling good about how you performed,
Yeah.
for the day. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things that come into play with travel meets, and we've touched on it on multiple calls, and talked about it a lot. But there's a lot of things too that, as a coach, I'm thinking about for especially a few of my lifters as being moms. Like they're stepping away from their life miles away and like states away. And they're still getting texts from home that are like, you know, could be nagging or just could be updates on what's happening at home or
We're out of
whatever. And
peanut
it's, yeah.
butter.
Where's the rice? Like I've actually gotten that text before, being away. Like, where's the rice? Like, oh my gosh. But those are the things that, not saying that they affect the day, but depending, all of us have different skills in how we handle that stuff. And so how it does, it really can affect us on the day on the platform, things like that, because we don't practice that in our training. We practice readiness with peaking and performing at our best optimal circumstances, but we don't train for the environment that we get plopped into for the day of the meet, or what conversations we're having, before that. And those aren't excuses and stuff. Those are just real facts of, as a coach, like we really try to, I know you guys do too. It compounds down to the different relationships you have with your athletes too, whether you've competed with them, coached them before. Um, like Jasmine, uh, this was like our fourth competition together versus, the other gals that I got to coach at nationals. That was our first time, our first rodeo on a big stage and away from home and away from life, and in a million-degree circumstances compared to Washington. And so all these different adaptations and stuff that were, so for me, like I was so grateful for this experience, for all of them, explicitly, because it's like a test run for we can do it again kind of a thing. Like this is all collecting data for, okay, how's this gonna go? How's this gonna work out with 13 plus people, all trying to coordinate times and support, and boy, did we do a good job of that. But it was a lot of like standing in the kitchen with like you and Emily and Dave, and we're like, who's got the car number one with which people for this time of day to get there for weigh-ins? But those people are competing right then, so we got to navigate this over here. And it was a lot of like who's on first kind of a stuff of just literally logistical stuff to make this an easy system for all of us. But so on the it's just so many firsts for everything, and for me that's really exciting because that just shows that we can do this again with more experience, and um we've just shown that we can grow from everything that we've tackled thus far, and I just think this is just opening up a really great opportunity for all of us. um yeah, I'm so proud of everybody that got to be there. And Pacific Northwest had such a big representation everywhere you looked. And that was one of the feedback I got from one of my athletes was it felt like competing at a local meet in a sense, because it was like I knew a lot of these, refs, or I knew other people from the Pacific Northwest came down to compete too at nationals. And uh, so that was really a pretty cool, powerful statement to say, to show the growth nationally, how we're doing up here
Yeah,
too.
and how involved we
Yeah.
all are.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like what a cool thing. Like I just love how much our team gives back to the sport and is an active, not just an active athlete, but an active member of the community on the other side of things. So I'm
Yeah.
really proud of that too. Yeah, I'm still so like emotional about it. Like I could, yeah, say so many great things. It was fun to watch some of my favorites, training partners like Emily, like hit the platform. She's just like a boss. Like she's awesome, and it was really fun to see you take the platform as a coach and a competitor. That was
Bro,
so big.
it was so impressive. So well done. And like your bread's going off.
Oh, my bread. I'll be right back.
Your stress management on the day, right? Recognizing like, okay, well, plan A isn't plan A anymore. Now we're on plan C. Doesn't matter. I'm here to coach and lift. Do
Yeah.
one, then the other, and just be ready to execute. And still just going into every single attempt where you needed to be mentally and ready to go and ready to lift and get after it because it's daunting as shit. I mean, how many people come up with excuses on why they just can't do their training session,
Right.
let alone go and coach and then compete a couple hours later, right? Like that's it. There's a reason it's not done all the time because it's very fucking difficult. And you proved yourself out there. You proved that you could do both at such an immensely high level. And like for me as your coach, man, like what a moment that was for me to see your athletes do amazing and be prepared sufficiently and ready for nationals, executing at that high level and being victorious at it. And then for you to then go out there and show them how it's fucking done and hit that giant ass PR squat, even though you were fucking destroyed the week of getting down there. I loved reading your meet recap, where you're talking about just how wrecked, you were feeling getting down there. And we had talked about 633 being the squat you wanted,
Yeah.
right? But the squat you wanted does not match, right? Like all the things you did brilliant at being like taking account for and taking inventory of, and we still got to walk away with the PR.
Yeah. It, you made a lot of emotions rise up.
Good. I was gonna try and make you cry on camera. I
Almost.
was almost crying.
Me
Uh,
too. My bread interrupted it, so
damn carbs. Dude, you make it look so easy. Like I think
Yeah.
we've done 3 meets together where we both competed and you've coached, and it's so much more difficult than you make it look. Um, yeah, like go back to the meet recap. Like I was trying to convince myself and everybody around me that I felt fine all week,
That's all
and
you can do.
totally. But I want to say this too, like because you competed in the afternoon. I was coaching in the morning session, and you came back so many times. Do you need anything? Do you need anything? I'm like, get the fuck out of here is what you can do. Like, no. Do you need anything? Are you eating your food?
it was
Like
trying.
you have such a serving like heart of servitude too. You can't
Yes.
help it.
Yeah,
Like it's yeah. It is you put other people in front of yourself.
And you come to realize really quick, like, well, I can't really complain about any of this out loud,
right.
right? So all I have left to do then is make affirmations and just manifest whatever I can out of this day because the only way through is forward. There is no pulling out. There is no like being a bitch about it and already coming up with excuses, right? There's nothing there.
You just leaned into it big time.
Yep.
And I think that kind of supports that whole, like what can I do for you? You're just like I'm just going to be about it then. And that's what it takes. That's, just be about it and lean into it. And you really did. Like you never showed any distress or any this is the most calm, cool, collected I've ever seen you, like leading into the meet too, just even like the 6 week, 3 week out, and then seeing you days and the day of. Yeah, all the way through it, man. You handled it like an absolute pro. I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I've grown up a lot in the last 2 years.
I
Um,
agree.
oh man, there's so many thoughts. I guess like the big thing was like I had to be there for Latrell, you
Yeah.
know. And I saw how overwhelmed him and his father were in the back room and just completely like fish out of water. Didn't know like how to work in or what to do. And it's like, you know what, it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
my body's where it's at. I have to trust my training. Like I'm gonna be a little bit more tired than I'd like to be, but whatever. It is what it is, right? And like, yeah, I shouldn't have paced fucking 14,000 steps. That was silly. I should have ate more. I should have been able to, but I mean, you guys have been in enough warm-up rooms with me to know that I
Oh,
can't do that.
yeah.
So, and again, you, Dave, set such a high like precedent for that. Like you're pacing the entire meet. I see you. I've been there. So yeah,
I don't sit down. Yeah.
it's too hard to.
Yeah, there's realistically, there's not enough time,
Right.
right? And even when you talk about like, yeah, I should eat more, like, yeah, I mean, you can try, but like, I remember having mashed potatoes in a thermos, right? And go get 2 bites and then get back to warming people up. Like, is it really, making that much of a difference? Or, are you just trying to do your best on the day to manage what you can?
Right. And personally, I know just sitting there and just wondering what's going on is going to drive me much more insane than being an actor.
Totally.
So that's where my head was. It was like you said, I mean, I was a service coach and a service athlete, service manager always like
Yeah.
I was there to be there for my athletes. And Latrell did incredible, man. Like once
Yeah, I did.
clear things out and just, I think he got red lighted on one of his benches and one of his squats. He was high on one of his squats and one of his benches. He just didn't hear the command or wait for the start command, which you come to expect with the trail. And
Sure.
but he wants to go to the Special Olympic World Games, and that's going to be a bigger stage than PLU Nationals. So he
Right.
has to be able to perform at that level in front of different people and different experience, stage than Dungeon over here in Auburn. So yeah,
He
I
was
mean
great.
that was
I
my
totally like I loved his like flex when he went up to get his award. I didn't know, like he stood there and it was so just like really intentional, and just owned it. I was like,
He knows how to work the crowd.
he's done can't remember what the name of the group is, but he's been like on stage like lead singing for like cover bands and stuff like that. Uh, his dad's put him in every situation you can imagine.
Oh, that's
That's awesome.
awesome.
The dude, he's great. He
Yeah.
came everybody in the gym. He's like, "Did you see my meet? I was in Texas. I deadlifted 555 pounds.
No
Never
kidding.
gone to before." I mean, like, and that's
Oh,
actually got that in the blog too. Is like when he came to me, like, or when they came to Dungeon, he didn't get anybody. Like he was
Yeah.
very enclosed in his own shell. Like he would say things, but like it was do a set straight to his phone. Like no interaction with anybody outside of his shell. And not like he's grown up so much. Like he talks about lifting with people. I mean, like everybody in the gym loves him. They're always there to cheer him on and stuff. And he has these relationships with people that want to see him succeed. And it's like you can see him growing up and getting more confident and like being more confident in his skin. I said confident twice, but
God.
just comfortable with who he is and
Yeah.
accepted in a community that's not strictly autistic.
Yeah.
So
I That's the value of lifting, right? That's the value of everything that we do in creating community is you get to see things like that and the kind of self-efficacy and growth that occurs in our clients. Like there's nothing else out there like that. And it's just the greatest thing ever.
yeah, it, I honestly I don't think I'll ever forget him posing after his last deadlift.
Me
It's
neither.
so good. Oh, it's so good.
we missed 545 three times in training. That's a whole nother conversation about coaching that we can get into. But um, he earned it on the platform. I gave him a
Midday
shot.
magic.
And like, holy crap, man, that was just the coolest moment ever. I was like, the old school of me was like, get off the stage. We don't do this here. And then Sam just looks at me like, just remembering my old wrestling coach, like, we don't ever raise our hands. Uh,
That's
uh,
so funny.
yeah, and then Sam just looks at me, he's like, just let him have the moment, man. Just like,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. What a moment to be able to have too.
it was great. Everybody loved it.
and then, Scott, we train together all the time. I knew he would be a lot easier to handle, you know, anxiety and stress wise and all that stuff. And Tanaya and Kayla, incredible job. Thank you so much for coming. Like,
Yeah.
this did more than we expected, more than we wanted. Like, you guys helped us all as lifters and coaches so much. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, Scott, like, he just had a couple issues with his depth, and that was a problem all prep.
Yeah.
Just pulled off to the side, called the depth for him, and everything was good after that. I think,
Worked so easy too. Like just made light work. It really smoked his second and third squats. They were fun to watch.
yeah. And yeah, his bench went well. I think I overshot his third attempt a little bit, but he his nine on week three or 3 weeks out was so easy. It wasn't even, I
Yeah.
think you called it a 7.5 that day. And so give him a shot. It was just too much that day. And yeah, same thing with deadlift. He was just a little too much that day. He hit 565 in training, so he should have easily hit that, but it is what it is. His first national meet, his first travel meet, I think his third overall meet, and he did well.
Yeah.
I mean, he did really well. So
Totally. Like that's just getting tossed into the fucking deep end. Like, there you go. Have fun.
in a fight with Zach Mason, just
Literally, right? Like, I mean, multiple 800-pound squats happening in that warm-up room that he's part of.
Yeah.
So talk about what a gift that is for a lifter, right? Than to be a part of a flight like that and see these enormous loads on the bar and seeing a warm-up room bar like bending in
Yeah.
half,
And
right?
somebody having to hold down the
And
center of it
yeah,
just
calling in
to
people from the back to come fucking spot in the warm-up
yeah.
room,
Yeah.
and like that's the value of nationals is you do get to see bigger level performances, right, and be a part of that, and it makes you that much better of a lifter.
Yeah.
yeah, it opens your eyes to such a different thing that if you're not exposed to on a weekly basis. And I mean, we have, some of the strongest people in the world at Dungeon, but not necessarily on the powerlifting side. So like for him to see that is, invaluable in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then we went into my performance, but I don't know, honestly, dude, like and I said it in the blog, like if this was 2 years ago, I would have been so mad and disappointed in myself. But like all things considered, like I'm great, man. Like I feel really good about everything. Uh,
As you should.
I
And
don't,
like, what a cool thing to film, like post meet as well, because sometimes that can be something that's really hard as lifters that we don't talk about a lot is like having the post meet blues, like just feeling kind of the down in the dump side of things and stuff, and to walk away from it and feel good and feel like, oh, like that's such a blessing, honestly. Like because a lot of times we walk away from certain meets and stuff and we're just like, I gotta get after it again and I gotta prove something and I gotta do this and that, and it's like you showed so much growth beyond the numbers, it that like that's gotta feel pretty satisfying.
I mean, it'd be weird to say yeah, but yeah. Like, um, yeah, it is like I don't know, trying to like just get outside of like my own ego and like look at it from a different point of view. Like, yeah, that just coming out of the other side and being excited to train again. Not necessarily like, oh, I have to prove this, but
Right.
it's time to get better. Like we're gonna push squat obviously for the meet in November, but like the other two, like I just want to get better at. Like that's all I care about. Like the numbers will
Yeah.
come when they come, but like I'm glad we're not trying to force things as much as because there's deadlines, right? And we can go back into growth and just
Yep.
feeling better overall, not exhausted all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, then we're gonna push that squat, and I'm gonna do something fucking cool, and November, and yeah,
I think another point is too, like it's something you should always be proud of that you got to attempt PRs in competition.
yeah,
And
Always.
some you get and some you don't, and like there gets to a point in your lifting career, right, where those PRs do not happen as fast as they used to, and they are a big deal. And there's something not to be taken for granted. There's a difference between your best of all time and conquered weight, right? And so, like, what does your consistency look like at those attempts leading up to that PR? Did you really, earn that PR shot, or was it just fucking wild and out to wild out? And I said, every lift you took, you earned that call on the bar. There wasn't one weight I gave you, even your third deadlift, that I did not think you could not do.
right.
And so, awesome, cool. Let's go out there then and put ourselves up against that. Let's test ourselves. Cool. And if we miss or we don't get it, almost even better because awesome learning opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's something to really point out. Is like if everything does go well during these meets, like you're just gonna if you didn't do more in training or like find learn differently or like, I'm rambling at this point, but if you didn't like challenge yourself in a different way, you're gonna not do that the next training cycle either. You're gonna
Yeah.
think good enough is good enough, right? So okay,
Absolutely.
I obviously like I put my head into the nutrition. We worked the hell out of technique on deadlift and bench for a long time. It didn't like I want to say my nutrition was bad, but we just kind of messed up the salt intake and all kind of stuff going into the meet with all that swelling. But I'm sure
Yeah.
humidity and sleep has a lot more to do with it than salt.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we have things. I know what I need to work on, and that
Yeah.
makes me more excited than like putting up a PR total and be like, okay, everything was great. I can just cruise now. And like it gives you that little bit of hunger, not necessarily to go back out there and prove myself to anything, but I just
No.
No, but to
right.
do it be better. We were talking the other day about, well, about like sometimes it's really the challenge is to match, like you get to a point where it's like, well, I like getting matching what I've done is hard enough, like too, like that's a big challenge. And at least for myself as a master's lifter, like the older I get, it's like, yeah, that's hard enough, just trying to hit the same thing, but always be better at it and always approach it with even more confidence. And the things that we do in the off season that kind of fortify that growth. But I also feel like I really like to look at meets now as like what I was telling Dave the other day is how we tried different things each prep. Like there's preps where we tried using wraps as alternating with a sleeve to push up my sleeve, and that was cool and it proved a really good, it worked really well. But just because it worked really well doesn't mean that we repeated that. We've always kind of like strategized a totally different way of like, okay, this is how this went. Now let's try this. It's going to be not like whack totally different, but like we're going to test this method now, kind of a thing. And it's been really cool for me as an athlete too, because it's kept it really exciting and fun and different and motivating to find different challenges and stuff. But it ultimately, it's like, it's really kind of fun on the like, as a coach too, right? The collecting data for this and proving methods to be satisfactory or not. And it's good. Those are the things that make us better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look at it differently now, competing a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult. I say impossible to have the same prep twice.
Yeah,
I've never seen it happen for someone, right? Like there's always, a tweak here and there that shows up, or travel kicks in, or there's always going to be something different that you just have to deal with and use load management to correct and, write the proper training prescription for it. But also too, like in your case with like using wraps and stuff like that, there was stuff we needed to do to get you to 400 that we don't need to focus on as much while we're bringing up like deadlift, which is squat up like
Totally.
40 pounds,
Yeah.
and, bench, which is we're pushing really hard on right now with your foot. And so like I think that's one of my favorite parts after like a big meet like nationals, right?
Right.
Is the off season afterwards, you really have some fresh ideas based on where people, had success and where they had difficulty. Like you get one of the better competitions for reassessing training needs.
Yeah, and it's a good taste of like a big situation and what that looks, what that feels like, that a whole experience and kind of a, what's next or yeah, it's a really cool experience to have and local meets are awesome too. And as a meet director, I appreciate having local meets, but I think it's such a good thing for people to push themselves just to experience and try and give themselves a new kind of challenge. It's really pretty cool.
What would you say was the best experience of the weekend for you two?
For us too, man, that's so
It
hard
was-
though. I didn't see him pretty much until the end of the day.
We took one picture together pretty much that whole time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed teaching you guys how to make a barbecue work though, with charcoal. That was the highlight of my
That was
on a
not
on a
that was
personal level.
not the highlight for Jeff and I
Um,
trying to get that fucking charcoal grill going. Ah, not gonna forget that though.
no.
Yeah, that was fun.
More charcoal.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we had a lesson in barbecuing. Um, man, it was really for me just a pretty um whole well-rounded experience as a coach, as a supporter, as a somebody that wrangled a lot of this shit together. It was really cool to see and get so much feedback of positivity of how neat it was for my girls to be a part of a team and to feel included and to show up as a team. And that felt so different to them. And that meant so much to me. And I just, yeah, this was such a wonderful experience for me. And that being that it was a big situation, a big stage, and it was a big test for all of us, I really am so proud of each and every one of them, how they showed up and what they did for me. And I was, a little bit conservative with some of them on some of their um attempts, but that was like for good reason.
Yeah, sure
And had
was.
good data to support that. And so I'm really happy with that. I'm man, so grateful for Tanaya and Kayla beyond measure. Like you had said, they just really showed up for us in the best way and made something really possible for me as a coach, being that all four of my athletes were competing at the same time. Three were on one platform, one was on the other, and it was a perfect fit for Jasmine to be with Tanaya and for me to like focus on the other three with Kayla. And it just was kind of a really cool situation. And she was just ready, so ready and prepared and ready to execute. And you could just see it in her. She showed up. And so I felt 100% confident. And with like Tanaya handled me before, and I know what that went like. And I know she's a good handler and she definitely knows what the hell she's doing. So
Yeah.
I trusted her 100,000,000% to work off of the spreadsheet that I gave her. And that went really freaking well. But it was really like just crazy and exciting and yeah, really proud of them.
I think for me, it happened a couple times um, where I was in the warm up room and I'm looking at everyone in the warm up room and my client, my client, my client, my lifter, and they're all coaching their lifters.
Yeah.
And it just, just kind of one of those indescribable happy feelings of just seeing like a body of work and legacy at play and just everyone executing so well and so clean and things running smoothly and just like knowing what this would look like if our team, if our lifters, if these people I hadn't coached and worked with and their lifters, what that looks like if we're not there and the shit show that warm up room is and the clickiness bullshit because weak people segregate themselves in warm up rooms. Weak people are fucking assholes. The majority of time in warm up rooms, they're inconsiderate. They jump in late. They don't know the flow. They hire bullshit coaches that also don't know the flow. And I didn't see any of that nonsense. Instead, I just saw capable, competent coaches doing their thing and doing it well and watching their lifters successfully warm up for a national stage and the flow of it and everything else and just living in that in those moments where it's all happening and just like just like I mentioned in my blog post, it felt like a gift. It felt like a gift to me and just how far this sport has progressed and all the work and professionalism that I've seen people bring to it over the years, going from fucking George Lehman and Brandon Lilly mass Excel spreadsheets. Everyone gets the same fucking program, to now any coach can have their own fucking app and blah, 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 blah. But the professionalism's risen as well. And people continue to give back and people continue to just be around it for the long term. Right. And like, having Joe Sullivan there, having Greeno there, right? Like just people that have been around for a fucking minute and aren't going anywhere. And just the value that brings to the sport, to the community of everyone just continually giving back in that way and just being able to share in that fellowship and that community with everyone. It was the most wonderful, wonderful thing for a nationals when I can't tell how many nationals I've been to where it's a fucking shit show. Everyone's stressed out. Everyone's pissed off. No one's having a good time. It's
Yeah.
clicky bullshit. And they're just, that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And thank
Agreed.
fucking God that we could move on from that. And I was so proud of the PLU and everything else, right? That like this can be a nationals. I'm proud to take lifters too.
Yeah, and say and guarantee that they're gonna have a good experience. Because you can't really always say that with, I mean, I've been to two, and they're yeah, they're not all the same. Um, yeah.
So that was my big favorite part, for the weekend, aside from us um going to the fucking Alamo.
Pretty rad.
That was rad and discombobulating and fucking next morning meat day feels kind of like terrible stomach aches and stuff like that and nonsense
Yeah.
and just suffering through that and the heat and humidity and going and
Yeah.
walking around, a national monument like that, surrounded by Ripley's Believe It or Not and wax museums and all the nonsense that you would never would think, oh, the Alamo's right there. I
Oh,
was
there's a
expecting a
sporting
fucking
museum,
gun store or something.
a leather shop.
Boots, hats, something. A leather shop would be badass. They make a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah,
A
but
lot
no,
more
they have
money
the
than
Ripley's.
Ripley's.
Yeah, and at Wax Museum, that was so bizarre, man. Like,
It was so bizarre to have it was such a historical monument in the middle of a city. Literally like bloop,
Well, they also call it a river walk, and it's more like a crick
it's a
stroll.
canal.
Stroll by the crick is
It's a
what that
canal
is.
stroll.
Dead fucking water, folks. That place is nasty. Please stay away.
Okay, it is also way different It was way different when I was there in March compared to this time was like I don't ever want to come back ever. I don't ever want to go to San Antonio again. But March it was like, "Oh, this is so nice and the weather is great and blah 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 blah." No, this was not the same place. I didn't want to be outside. I was sweating inside. Even
That,
with air conditioning on, I'd get out of my chair. My chair was wet. I was just sweating nonstop.
that walk was miserable. Like so
That walk
miserable.
was miserable.
Like, every
And
minute.
my electrolytes were all fucked up for a whole week after we got home. It felt like I feel like I'm just now starting to regulate.
Cover.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
But
How about you? What was your favorite moment?
I think, yeah, the same as yours really is like just being back in the warm-up room before my squat and like looking around and like, oh man, look at all these cool rad people that I've looked up to on the internet, like watching around, like watching me squat. This is rad. And
Yeah, like freaking Logan Varner coming up to you, right? Like, that's a rad squat.
That
oh, dude, that was so cool. Like Joe Sullivan did this to me at Fight or Quit, and like kind of felt he was kind of being lying a little bit about it, but like Logan was telling the truth. But
You could tell.
yeah, no, yeah, that was like seeing Logan, and then like I don't know, man, I'm just some guy, so like the fact that like people recognize me on their internet is like weird, and I don't know because I know I was that person at one point. It was like, oh, it's Dave on the internet, blah blah blah. But yeah, for like Dave or Logan to walk through and then like we lock eyes, he's like, Jeff, I'm like, Logan, this is so cool.
that's what happened to me too.
Yeah,
I'd never met him. It was the whole like
yeah, it was really cool. It made my day. And just being able to talk to him, I had to pee so bad when we ran into each other. So it's like, I'm sorry, dude, I really want to talk to you, but I have to piss. And
You
like,
kind of you kind of end up sucking it up a little bit. Like you wait an extra couple minutes longer than you think you're gonna.
100%. And so, but no, that was really rad. And then I think, yeah, my favorite moment was just walking up to that bar at the last squat and just like once I picked it and it just felt great. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And like right before that, you just like lead from the front, brother. It's your turn. Lead from the front.
Oh, you're
Like,
gonna make me
that gives
cry.
me chills. I know. Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
and, like it confirms so many things that like I know you feel about me, and for you to like verbalize that on that stage in that moment, just like it meant a lot. And yeah, thank you.
That was a very difficult meet for me, holding my emotions in check. I just felt like I was gonna cry. Like every, someone had some lift on every single time that was just putting me right close over the edge. And your third squat, I mean, I lost my mind. It was so immaculately executed, so fucking clean and strong and just fucking right. It's just, it's one of those when we talk about attempt selection being like gambling, right? And that was a fucking blackjack right there. Just, ooh.
Yeah,
Oh, best feeling.
I knew it once I locked the brace in. I was like, this is fine. Just hold it. We're good.
Fucking watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome, man. Like I visualized that moment with, 5 kilos more than you called on it
Uh,
multiple times and like, everything about it, like the stage, not necessarily the way the racks were like oriented, but basically everything else, like just the noise, the light, the command, like and just for it all to like come into play and at that right moment, it was really cool, man. And I don't know, I think it speaks volumes of how well you've coached me over the last 5 years and developed me as an athlete because I have never been a confident athlete. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It was a really cool, like, not necessarily like everything came together, but like everything came together weekend, right? Like it's just like I'm coaching on a national stage, I'm performing on a national, or lifting on a national stage with my best friends. Like, I don't know, it was fucking rad, dude. It was a really
Yeah.
cool moment, and I'm
And
glad we
your competition's Joel fucking Raymond.
yeah, which really irritated me when he signed up. Why is my doorbell ringing? That's weird. Um, somebody's ringing my doorbell and they can hear me talking because my door is open.
Hilarious.
Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, that's so funny.
That's really great.
We should talk shit about him while he's away. I'll never even
I'll
know.
never know.
He just needed that Uber, that DoorDash.
Yeah, his DoorDash is out
Oh,
there.
your teriyaki chicken came.
It's not my food.
Got your tandoori chicken there for lunch.
Mm.
I am excited for lunch.
I'll have to. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. We're good.
Keep using my right hand. It screws me up. I gotta use my left. Yeah. No, it was really great. I know all of us had our own personal favorite moments, our athlete favorite moments for each lifter. You know, it's always a good sign of a nationals trip like that when everyone comes home with, you know, something to show for it. And everyone accomplished that. And I was just, yeah, I was riding the team ops train all fucking weekend long. I was so freaking proud of every single one of our lifters. It was outstanding.
It was a time warp. It was such a busy chunk of days. Yeah, where it just one kind of bled into the other. It was
Yeah.
really,
Especially without sleep.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I think that
Yeah,
sums up nationals pretty damn good.
I
Thanks
agree.
again for listening, everyone. Our next coaches call will be in June, right before our NCW Open.
Yeah.
But yep, I hope you all enjoyed our thoughts on PLU Nationals. Thanks again to everyone in the PLU for hosting it, and putting on my favorite nationals that I've ever been to.
Me
Same.
too.
Awesome.